I was just talking to Deuce the other day, and he was like, man, it's so crazy. We're in 11 years in. I had a good season. I led the league in field goal percentage. We made it to the finals, and nobody hitting my line. Nobody's hitting up my line. Like, I'm like, bro, you know how it is? You would think after 11 years, after all the body of work that I did in this country and this, nobody cares about none of that.
What are you thinking? Yeah. What are you thinking? Yeah. If you wanna know my thoughts, open your ears when I talk. Yeah. What are you thinking? Hey. What are you thinking? Hey. If you wanna know my thoughts, open your ears when I talk. Yeah.
What's good, everybody? Back with another episode of the Arnold's Thoughts Podcast. I am your host, Arnold Lewis. I help athletes prepare mentally for a life of overseas basketball. If this is your first time tuning into the show, make sure you do me a big favor and hit that like and subscribe. Let's get straight into it. 11 things I wish I knew before starting my pro career. I am in my 11th year playing. Ooh, I gotta give myself a round of applause for that one, because that's big. I am officially in year 11. Man, I can't even believe it. Year 11. It has been a journey. I'm gonna just say that a lot of guys don't make it this long. A lot of guys don't make it this long. I'm starting this to like to start. It's kind of weird because you have to kind of keep up with your own like years from when you started, from when you came out. You keep up with it. There is no one that's gonna keep up with your stats and all these things. They have Eurobasket and they have these other platforms that kind of keep up with like somewhat, but you are in control of everything. You know how many years you played. You're going to keep up with wherever you went. You're going to keep up with like your accolades. People aren't praising you in this game. People are not praising you like you think that they are. Like they're just so ready to just give you like, hey, congratulations on year 6, year 7, year 8, and I see you doing your thing. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about none of that. That's up to you to decide. That's up to you to keep track, because it's really a self-sustaining journey. This life of overseas basketball is just a self-sustaining journey that only you really get the benefit from. There's no retirement party unless you go create your own retirement party. There is no, hey, we want to give you a trophy and retire your jersey somewhere. Some guys get lucky that they go to high school and stuff like that. I need to talk to my high school and I need to talk to my college, because they ain't retiring my jersey. And I don't remember any other player that's came from that school that's been 11 years pro in basketball, in anything. Professional basketball, it's definitely not in the NBA or anything like that. So I'm gonna need y'all to put a little bit of respect on my name, SSU, Savannah State University. Now we know we got Shannon Sharp. Shout out to Shannon Sharp. Of course, he leads the way as one of the most prolific athletes that ever came through our school. Shout out to Ezinne Kalu. She just went crazy in the Olympics this year. She was like top 4 in scoring for the Nigerian team. So she put SSU on the map. But it's like you have to do these most immaculate things to get notified. Like Shannon Sharp's a Hall of Famer. He's the biggest celebrity pretty much in broadcasting right now, next to like Stephen A. Ezinne went crazy in the Olympics. You know what I mean? She's number 4 in scoring in the Olympics. So you have to do some major, massive things, which is respected. Like nobody wants to just be handing out things to people just because they didn't do anything. Like, oh, I played 2 years and so you should acknowledge me. No, you got to put in the work and do some things to be acknowledged for. But I think we got to raise the question a little bit. You know what I mean? 11 years in, 7 championships. Hey. We got to put something there. We got to show something now. Y'all got to show me some love just a little bit. Show me some love just a little bit. But in this episode, I just want to really touch on like just some of the things I wish I would have known before I started playing. all these years. Are you interested in playing overseas basketball one day? I wish someone would have told me 1 year after college I would receive my first pro gig. I wish someone would have told me that having an agent does not guarantee that you will get hired. I wish someone would have told me being cut from a team, because after 10 years in this game, everyone gets cut from a team. Now, after traveling from over 17 different countries and winning up to 7 championships in my pro career, I've put together the 6 most important traits any player needs before starting their career. So go ahead and grab that ebook and get all the information you need today to start your career. Now you can't say no one didn't let you know. So go ahead, grab that ebook and get started so you can become the pro one day. Let's go. Like, just a few. These are not all of the things. These are just some of the things that I came up off the top of the head that just stuck out to me. And before I do that, I always want to, first of all, be grateful. I want to make sure that I'm more than grateful and acknowledging and thanking God for my health, thanking God for the journey of even being able to make it this far. Because we can just get so caught up in that, oh, I didn't play this far, and it's just like, I was supposed to. Nah, the life expectancy of a basketball player, especially in this game, how ruthless this game is, to even make it this far, like, I have no choice but to be overly grateful for all of the moments that I've been able to share, all of the experience that I've been able to gain in this life, you know, for all the people that helped me throughout the years, especially my mom, you know, especially my father who passed away a few years ago, my aunt, my cousins who be looking out for my things like my car. They watch my car back at the crib. Just, it's so much to be grateful for. You know, thank God for my health. You know, I had to make some adjustments and change a lot of things to be able to have a long-lasting career or even last this long. And I feel great. Shout out to Mel. Wow, I really forget Mel's last name? Wow. Shout out to you, Mel. My fault. I didn't forget your last name. I just forgot it off the top. But she helped save my career. She helped save my career with her therapy center. You know, I'm driving 2-3 hours, 2 hours there, 2 hours back just to get therapy. But if it wasn't for her looking out, lowering the price, giving me free sessions, all the people that chipped in to help me even make it this far in this career, like, you're not gonna make it by yourself. That's anything in life. You're not gonna make it by yourself, and I want to make sure I give the appreciation and stay grateful for everybody that chipped along and helped me to even make it this far. Helped me to be able to say I'm an 11-year pro. Helped me to, you know, enjoy this life, because it's a great life. I mean, right now I'm currently in China. You know, I'm in a new apartment, new setup. That's the great thing about this podcast. You know, I'm always traveling, so you're always going to get a different scenery. I always try to keep those, my 2 signature, my posters in the back. I always try to keep those just to always show, like, wherever I go, that's like my signature. They're wearing out. They didn't wear thin. They about to break down. I might have to get some. So if y'all see the Dragon Ball Z and the One Piece change in the back, it's because they just ran off their last leg. They done. They done been with me to like 5-6 different countries. They've been traveling with me. They've been with me everywhere. But I just want to make sure that I always stay grateful first and foremost, because, you know, I think they say gratefulness makes the heart grow bigger. And everything in this life is going to stem from how grateful you are for the things that you have in this life. So I always want to make sure that if you're coming on this channel, you know that I'm going to be not bashful, not shy for just showing how grateful I am to even be here in this point of my life. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not going to hide it. That's what you're going to get. That's what we're doing here. If that is too corny for you, if you can't rock with that, if that's not good, hey, bro, go somewhere else. But one of the biggest things that got me here is being grateful for all the people and all the things that has allowed me to get to this point. I didn't get here alone. But we're going to start off. We're going to start off with some of the things. The first thing is what I wish I would have known or before I started, what I wish I would have known was, I wish I would have got started researching early, like researching the information about where I wanted to go, different leagues, things of that nature. Like putting in research goes so far in this game. You think that when you're getting done with college, you just, oh, agents gonna come, teams are gonna come knocking down my door, everybody's gonna be running out. If you're not like a super high majors, D1, UCLA, Georgia, all these, even them, don't get it twisted to think that just because even if you go to high major that it's automatically set in stone for you. I'm gonna come out and I'm finna make tens of thousands off the rip. I'm finna make all the money. I'm finna get paid 15,000 from day one. And it's like, who told you that? Who fed you that? Oh, my homeboy out there in Iraq and or Egypt, Iran, or they're in Ukraine and they get in the bag, and I know they got me. It don't be like that. It's not like that. Don't think that you're just exempt from putting in the research and understanding each league, understanding what leagues, how they're ran, the type of culture around the league. Like, I was talking to a guy out here from Serbia, and he was just telling me the type of basketball that they are. Like, they pretty much want you to be perfect. And you would think Serbia, you think Jokic. Oh, Jokic out there, so that's high level basketball. So that means that, you know, you're probably gonna get paid a lot, and the basketball is super good, and it's gonna be such a good market to come from. It's not like that. He told me straight up, he said, we got like 2 teams. Those are the 2 teams, and one's in the Euro Cup and one's in the Euro League. Every other team after that is not like that. You're not getting paid. The max that you're probably getting paid is like $2,000 a month. You gotta think about it. $2,000 a month. You get paid more than that full time working at Walmart. So if you don't even know these things, you would be thinking, oh, I'm just going here to some country that's going to be high level, and when I get done with here, I'm going to get paid. So that's not how it is. You got to do your research on how is the country, how do they play their basketball, because different countries play basketball different ways. The physicality in some countries are just so much for that some people can't handle it. South America plays basketball a different way. Middle East plays basketball a different way. Asia plays basketball a different way. But those are not things that you are taught, or no one is really informing you before you even get there. That's something you should know, and that just takes it. Like, I never really understood that I needed to talk to people about what type of basketball is going to be played, because you think basketball is basketball wherever you go. No, it's not. It's not really like that. So one thing I wish I would have done before starting was really do more in-depth research on different countries, the play style, coaching style. Maybe some leagues are more of a scoring league. Some leagues, they're more lenient to cutting players. Some leagues, they don't cut players at all. These are important information to know before you're getting started, because you don't want your first start to be a bad start. Because if you start off bad, it's very hard getting back on. A lot of guys don't recoup once they had that bad start first year and it don't turn out well because they started off in a bad market. Like, I started off in Mexico and they cut me off the jump. First 2 weeks in, I got cut the first 2 weeks in, and they didn't even give me they're supposed to give me half of my check. They gave me half of my check. Guess what? I didn't have an agent. I didn't have nobody backing me up on, I didn't know what was going on. So guess what? I had to take it or leave it. That's just something that, hey, I had to go through the fire and learn myself. Another thing I wish I would have known earlier was how to promote myself through social media. In this day and age, now, if you're not promoting yourself on social media, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're doing yourself a disservice. I don't care what it is. If you're working out in the gym, if you are going to open runs, pro runs, like the Rico Hine runs if you're in pro-ams, whatever it is, post it on social media. Social media is not for us to be on there just to see our holler at a bunch of girls, or you know what I mean, follow a bunch of celebrities and follow a bunch of gossip and see what the shade room talking about. It's for you to promote yourself and build a brand. You are a brand, and you have to build that brand. No one's going to build that brand for you. You have to get started in building that brand for yourself early, and you can do that through social media. I remember when I first started, man, Facebook used to be jumping. Facebook was the place where you get all the contracts, all the jobs. Agents was hitting you up. People, you post one clip, they on there. They had the basketball groups. You go into groups, you can still find a lot of jobs on there. People just sleep on it because it's like my generation, not these newer generation. And you know, it's crazy. I don't even know the difference. Generation, Gen Z, Gen X, millennials. Millennials are younger. These millennials, they're more on social media like TikTok and Instagram. Those are by far the biggest. Instagram and TikTok. I had an agent just hit me up, and I straight up, you got Instagram? I'm sending you my highlights through Instagram. I'm not sending you it through YouTube. I'm sending it to you on Instagram because everybody has Instagram. They're on TikTok. That's where you get to see a player's style, how they play. Perfect example, Austin, the guy I just played with when we was in Chile together. He was like, he started working on his social media because he thought it was some nonsense. He wasn't working on his social media, but since he got around me and Deuce all the time and seen us constantly posting, he started making some clips, posting his videos. Guess what? He ended up getting a deal in Brazil because they saw him through Instagram. I just had a guy reach out to me asking questions because they saw me on Instagram. You sleep on who you don't know because you think you're not getting a lot of views. You think your following count is low. People are watching. They are watching. Utilize your social media to your benefit. It will help you in the long run. Use your social media to build your brand. Use your social media to promote yourself because it's going to take you a lot further than you will realize. You need that social media like coverage and following. You need more people posting your stuff and showing you. I'm telling you, that's going to get you a job. If I would have took that more serious and earlier on in my career, probably would have had a different career. But it's just certain little things you don't know. And even now more so, it's way bigger. It's a lot bigger now to promote yourself on social media and Instagram and things like that because more people are on it. Social media, from when I first started, Instagram started like when I was in college. So it wasn't really that big of a deal. And that was like my senior year. So I went back and looked. I can go back and look from like my first post. It was just some nonsense I was out there posting. It was a different time. It was a different time. But now I understand. I don't even try to post nothing. I don't even try to post anything that has anything to do with basketball in the basketball life. I try to treat my Instagram as a brand. It's a brand. I don't try to think this is a personal account. No, it's a brand. I'm constantly branding myself. I'm showing you the life. I'm showing you what I go through in a day-to-day aspect. I'm going to show you rarely my family, unless it's like my mom or my daughter's birthday and I'm doing a shout out to my mom or my sister or another player's birthday. But I follow nothing but basketball players. I follow but nothing but basketball information, and that's what I promote. My feed is strictly basketball because I need to be catering to that group of people. Don't sleep on your Instagram and your social media and to think that that's not going to get you jobs. Focus more on that and watch how far that take you. Then you just trying to run and look for. That's how agents and other players and other teams and organizations can find you. So focusing more on my social media is definitely something I wish I would have known before starting off. The business side of the game. I wish I would have paid more attention to that. Too many times we come into the game thinking that, oh, I'm just coming out here to play basketball, and not realizing that this is a business. All this is a business. That's why you use your social media and promote it like a business. You promote yourself like a business. You have to be as professional as you possibly can when it comes to this game. if you treat yourself with respect as a businessman instead of just like a player who don't know what's going on, even when it comes to talking to teams, agents, treat yourself like the business side of this is so sketchy. You have to conduct yourself in the utmost professional way as possible. You have to get that, you have to literally demand that respect from teams and organizations, because there are so many players coming in and out. They're dealing with one player today and another one today, or the next day. One's falling off, one's retiring, one got hurt, another going, 10,000 of them coming out of college at the same time. And a lot of people just don't have the mindset to think of, just come in with the business mindset. How I'm going to have my contract, how I act when I'm with a team. If you come to a team and you act like you ain't just got no sense, and they just think that you're just another one of these hood players or something like that. I'm speaking to my boys from the crib. If you act like you just like a hood player or whatever and don't really got no sense, they're going to treat you like that. They're going to try to get over on you because they're going to feel like you ain't really got no business etiquette. But if you come in like, hey bro, I need my money on this time, this is how I do. If you don't pay me on this, if you don't follow to the guidelines of what my agent is doing, they're not going to, you're going to get is treated as far as you treat yourself. The preparation that you put into yourself and the information that you bring to the table of what you know and how you act when you're with teams, when you speak to organizations, when you speak to coaches, because sometimes they're going to call you up before they sign because they want to know who they're dealing with. They want to know what type of player I'm dealing with. They want to know if you got some sense. I had plenty of times where I had to get on a phone call. Doesn't really matter what I've done in the past. I may have had a great resume. I may have just came off a championship. They want to have that conversation. They want to see how you conduct yourself. Realizing that, hey, sometimes you're going to get cut, and they might. I had a perfect example of the guy that, older guy, he was, I guess you would call him my mentor. He was like a mentor for me for a little bit. He kind of gave me some game. He was like pretty much the only old head that kind of just like gave me some game at that time. And he was like, don't take it personal. I got cut from a team. I left, went somewhere else. They brought me back a couple months later. Can't take it personal. It's just a business. I was dealing with one agent. He wrote me. He kind of did me kind of shysty. I kind of just like, whatever. I'm not dealing with him no more. Old head hit me back up. Like, yo, why aren't you working with dude? I was like, man, he kind of this. He's like, this is a business. Don't take that joint personal. If you read the 4 Agreements of book, don't take it personal. You know, me and Deuce always talk about the book. Don't take it personal. It is a business. They're there to get their money. They're trying to get the best deal. They're going to try to get you for the low. They're trying to get the best deal out of what they're trying to get for the bang for their buck. You have to know how to navigate that. Don't take it personal. Maybe hey, I ain't got the money. You might think, man, I'll never go to this team again. They might come with the money in the right situation. Hey, what you gonna do? You got to know how to handle that situation. You can't be like, oh, well, they weren't this and that. Hey, do they got the money you got? Do they got the situation you got? Is it good for you in this moment? You better go handle that. Don't be getting in your feelings, thinking about a team and all that. Don't get in your feelings. You better get your money. You better get that situation straight and keep it pushing. Cause they don't care. They don't care. They're gonna do what they gotta do for themselves. And you better do what you gotta do for yourself and handle your business. Go over there, hoop, get your money and keep it pushing. This is a business. It may be a janky business, but you better learn how to navigate through that janky business, or you're gonna be caught off guard and you're gonna be the one that's out of luck. Because teams, you're gonna see some teams, oh, this organization been around for 100 years and they've been janky for 100 years, but guess what? They still going. And you at the crib and you ain't got no job and you ain't got nobody looking at you and the agents ain't calling you no more and you just wondering like, man, what's going on? How come I ain't getting no more calls? How come nobody ain't reaching out to me? I was just talking to Deuce the other day and he was like, man, it's so crazy. We in 11 years in. I had a good season. I led the league in field goal percentage. We made it to the finals and nobody hitting my line. Nobody's hitting up my line like, I'm like, bro, you know how it is? You would think after 11 years, after all the body of work that I did in this country and this here, nobody cares about none of that. You better get on your horse. You better start reaching out. You better start posting these videos. You better start contacting teams. You better take your ego out of it. You better go to where somebody gonna get you this money. Cause you got a family. You got bills that need to be paid. And the more you at home, the more it's gonna eat away at your money. Especially if you stay in the States, that money gets eat up so fast because the price of everything always goes up. And guess what? These contract prices don't be going up. If people like the crib gotta work every single day, every month, all the time, well, like, what's the average? 2-week vacation, if that, 5-6 days out the week, and everybody's pretty much poverty lines, barely making it. What makes you think you could go take 2-3 months off? 2 months off. Them prices are constantly increasing. Take your ego out of it. Handle your business. Another thing I wish I would have known is the difference in the food. Man, I wish I knew from the beginning how different the food was going to be. Like you kind of see. Oh, matter of fact, you have no expectations. With the expectation that you thought you knew about food in other countries is not what you think. I see a lot of guys come in, and it's even happened to me. They come in, they believe like they just pretty much starve themselves and go to McDonald's all day long and basically live off McDonald's. Because especially from America, that's all we eat. Fast food. We grew up off of junk food. Fast food, McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, all these places we just eat on. So when we go to these other countries and they have some random weirdo looking fast food restaurant that you ain't never ate before, you don't eat. Or you have a cook that's cooking a native dish there and it's something that you don't eat. It's like a salad with corn and tuna. I remember one time we was in Chile and they gave us a pancake with tuna in it. And we're like, what is that? I'm like, just to even think about that right now make my stomach hurt. That's how they eat. They're not thinking about how you eat, and especially to what you eat. Now, when you get EuroLeague, high CBA, high level, maybe, but even then, it's like you can go out to eat every night and have a private chef and all that. That's not the average player. I'm just speaking on the majority. We're not speaking on the 0.0001% of players. It might be a couple more zeros in that. But the food is so different. And we don't realize that. But the food, I wish I would have just known. I wish I would have known to always, now I know, take my own seasoning. That goes a long way. Taking some breakfast, like certain things for like breakfast that are essential. I would say the biggest thing is the seasoning. Because we season our food at the States. I'm from the island. We put some seasoning on that boy. Some countries, they don't even put seasoning on their food. No seasoning? None. Sometimes they don't even cook their food. The way they cook their food is different. They might like it a little more rare. You better cook that chicken. They eat just the food is like, man, like, now some countries, fire. Food, fire. Fall in love with it. Thailand, Mexico, man, food off the charts. I'm trying to think that those two best places that I ate off the jump is Thailand and Mexico. By far had the best food that I never had to worry about eating there. And it was like a big difference in the food that I couldn't adjust. But everywhere else, that food is going to play a factor in when you go over there to those different countries, because you're not going to eat sometimes. I've seen guys do 10, 15 pounds. You're playing and working out and you're not eating. Bring you some seasoning. Bring you some seasoning. That's just my little tip. Moving on. how to manage my money. Boy, how to manage my money. I wish somebody would have taught me how to manage my money. I just met somebody, he's been playing for 8 years. And he doesn't know how to I wouldn't say he doesn't know how to manage his money, but when I just start breaking down to him just what I do at this current point in my life, he's looking at me. The first thing he asked me is like, hey bro, do you charge people for this? Do you charge people for like this type of information? I felt flattered. I should charge people for this type of information for what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, I'm in the process of learning myself how to still manage my money. And really within the last 2 years, I haven't said like I went crazy, but I know within the last 2 years, from when I look back on all the money that I made, because I did a calculation I just started thinking about all the contracts. I started remembering all the contracts, trying to add up all the contracts and the money that I made. And I'm thinking about how I managed that and what I got from that. Piss poor. Like, you got to think about it. Try being 9 years in, 10 years in, and then coming home and having $20 in your pocket. You're a professional basketball player, but you got $20 in your pocket, your car broke down, and you ain't got no way to get it fixed. See, people won't tell you that. They just say, oh, professional basketball player, you got it. You got it made. You got plenty of money. It's a fake perception. Don't fall for that. Managing my money, that is one of the biggest things I wish I knew after all these years, is how to manage my money. I've seen plenty of guys who get into it, even some of my best friends, and they don't know how to manage their money. And guess what? The more money you get doesn't mean that you know how to manage it just because you got more. They don't know how to manage your money. Just speaking on myself, I did not know how to manage my money. And that's probably been the biggest change in my I feel safe now. I feel secure now in the rest of my career. Because I feel like I learned the most important thing that I could possibly learn, which is to manage my money the right way. I can actually see where my money is going. I can actually see my money increasing. I can actually see that I'm not coming back home and I have to go down to $0 because I'm not overspending on things and I'm not putting my money towards things. I'm not overspending on food and going out and these little minor things that you just don't pay attention to because you think, oh, I got it. Tax free. It's coming in. I ain't got to worry about all this other stuff. Listen, learn how to manage your money. Especially in this game, because you're getting that money coming in and it feels good because you're playing basketball, so it don't really feel like you're doing too much. It feel like, oh, I'm just hooping and I'm getting the money. It don't feel like the same thing like you're getting up and working at 95 and you got to go work 8 hours. And then now you see where the money coming in. So you might be a little bit more, you hold on to it a little bit more because, like I had to go work and I had to go do this warehouse job for this or something like that. But when you're just hooping, it doesn't feel like a job. So you treat the money different. And it's something about getting money in other currencies that the money just don't seem real. Am I the only one who feel like that? Let me know. Y'all let me know. Like, write in the comments, any players that have been playing. Does the money not seem real when you get money? It's like the currency, when you get it in other currencies that you're not used to, it just doesn't seem real. So you spend it like it's nothing. Oh, that's just whatever. Like, you don't really care about it because it's not really in your currency, so you don't think about it in the same way. So you spend it more frivolously, like, whatever. I'd be like, bro, send my money to my account. I need to see it. And I need to disperse it. The moment I get money, it's like I have a real specific system. I was talking to that guy and I was like, I think I need to write a book. That's one of my goals, is to write a book on how to manage your money for basketball players. If y'all want me to write that book, let me know. I don't care. I'm going to write it regardless. That's going to be on my list of things to do, is just how to manage your money for basketball players, for overseas basketball players, how to manage your money. It could go for anybody. It's really a system that I learned from reading, and it's helped me out tremendously And this is from guys who've been, I'm talking to a guy that's been in the game for, shoot, 6-7 years more than me. And even he's not managing his money like that. He's just coming in, spending it, doing his own thing, you know. It's just a trait that's not being taught. And it's not to be overlooked, because you will go broke fast. Living this life playing basketball and not managing your money correctly, you will go broke fast. Another thing I wish I would have known is don't put all my trust in the agent. My very first job that I had a good job in Qatar. Dude found me a job, sent the contract. Even now, I'm thinking about the contract that they sent to this day. If I would have started my career there, and everything happens for a reason, and I understand that, but I put all my trust into the agent. And I ended up not getting anything. Not getting anything because I put all my trust into this agent, and he was gonna find the deals for me, and he's gonna make sure that I'm straight, and he's gonna pave the road for me, and I was gonna get all, you know, I was gonna get all the money, and I just gotta sit back and just work out at the crib, and I ain't gotta worry about nothing. Don't put all your trust into this agent. I've said it once, I said it before. You are your biggest promoter. You are your biggest fan. You know, you are your biggest agent. You will be the person that's gonna get you the most money that you need to get. Now, it's good to have a good agent that's going to work for you, but don't rely only on an agent to get everything done for you. Don't do that. That is up to you. You are the person that's going to get that. I believe like the last 3 or 4 jobs that I got myself. My agent just signed off on it and he got the commission. But even now, he ain't find me nothing. Nothing that I can't find for myself. And it's because I understand the game now. Before, I used to wait on an agent to find me everything. Don't do that. Especially now that I think FIBA has a rule where you can move around and you can work with different agencies and different people, and it's like without penalty. Don't just wait on an agent to find you a job and just put all your faith in him. Because the minute you have one slightest bit of fall off, they forget about you. A guy I know, he just signed with an agent, the agent that I was with, and he wrote me like, yo, what's up with dude, man? He ain't hitting me back. He ain't my agent now. I just went to the finals. I'm just year 11. I got all these accolades or whatever. I hit him up like, yo, bro, what's up? Crickets. And I definitely got a name enough that he could work with me and find me a job and stuff like that, but he got other things going on. I'm not his main priority, and I know that. And I ain't tripping on that because I know how the game is. I'm not going to put all my faith in this one guy, and I know that, you know what? He's working on probably 30 other people because guess what? He's lining his pockets up. He's trying to make sure he's straight. If he ended up finding me something along the way, cool. But am I supposed to sit here and wait on him the entire time for that to happen? No way, no sir. Can't do that. Don't sit here and wait on that person to find you something all this time, because you'll be stuck without a job, and you don't let a year or a season go by, because then he's going to be like, well, I can't use you. I ain't got nothing to work with. You ain't got no resume. You ain't got nothing in the background, nothing to back you up. I'm cool. He's going on to the next. Investments. I wish I knew about investing my money. That's kind of tag team along with managing my money. Part of managing your money is knowing where to put your money at and learning about investments early and often. Taking a big portion of this money and investing it is very, very critical in this game. It's very, very critical. You have to have your money working for you more than you work for it. And a lot of the times, since we're out of the country and a lot of the things that are being taken care of for us, like our housing, our food, things of that nature, that's a big expense that's being taken off the table. So using that money to put into something that can grow in the meantime is so crucial, Because once it's done and you're not getting this basketball money, because basketball money is really cheese, like it's really sweet. Once you get in there, when you get in the rhythm and you start getting in the groove and you get the, you having a good, your career is going well and that money start coming in, it's really sweet. But if you don't put it up somewhere, and I'm not talking about in the bank, I'm talking about real stable investments that can grow over time. I hear a lot of guys, they start getting into like housing and putting it into finding someone that cause they need the cash, and they take their cash because they're getting untaxed money and giving it to like realtors or people who are in like construction. Find something to put your money into. I'm big on the stock market. I'm big on investing into stocks and things of that nature, and in my business. I'm going to invest into my business, into this network, and I'm going to invest into my portfolio and building up my portfolio, and then I'm going to move into real estate and all that further on. But I just started understanding all of this within the last 2 years, 3 years now. But before that, I didn't understand any of this. And I'm still on my constant journey right now of trying to understand this right now. It's not an easy task. That's why I'm telling you guys right now. I wish I would have known about investments. Putting my money up somewhere. I'm talking to Deuce the other day. I'm like, bro, put your money up. Put your money somewhere. Do something with your money. You can't just get it, put it in your pocket and wait. And I realize it's hard because no one's ever taught us how to. And we fear what we don't know. So if we don't know and we not going to take the time to know, it's hard for when you hear one person saying it and then they're like, yeah, but I don't have nothing to reference on. If I'm sitting here and I show you 100K invested, you're going to look at me a little bit different, but I'm not there yet to 100K investment. So it's kind of hard for them to understand it and really go with it. So it's like, invest your money. After getting your investments, I would say the next thing that I wish I would have known was having a strategic plan. Having a strategic plan in this game could take you a very long way. That's something I didn't have. I did not take the time to write out my plan. I made a video maybe, I don't even know how long ago. I made so many videos, but I know it was on one of these episodes from a while ago, and I just know I talked about having a strategic plan. 3-year, 5-year, 7-year, 10-year plan. If you want to make it far in this game, you got to know, you got to have a game plan. You got to know what you're doing. You can't just be out here just saying that I'm just going to do it just to do it and don't have no strategy to none of this. You need a strategic plan. If I would have known to just write it down and know what I was doing before I got into it, my career would have went a whole different way. It would have been a lot of different things I would have done. It would have been a lot of different countries I would have played in that I would have at least taken the attempt to play in. There was some countries I would not have went in because didn't fit and align with the plan that I have. And sometimes when you write your plan out and you have the plan that you need for your career, you're going to start looking at, is the things that I'm doing aligned with it or not? Because if they're not aligned with the plan, then you realize that, what am I doing this for? Because sometimes you think that just being able to play and just having this career and stuff like that for just to have it and just winging it, you gotta think about it. Before you start a game, you go over what? The game plan. Sometimes when you go to practice, they have the practice plan for the day. You have a strategic set of information and steps to follow so you can best execute for that day, that league, that game, or whatever it is. You have to follow follow the game plan. What's the game plan for your career? You need to have a game plan for your career. And that's another thing that I wish I would have known was having a mentor. Having a mentor can help you strategically put this plan together. I didn't have a mentor come into this game. I probably had about 1 or 2 guys that was cool enough to let me know what the ropes, show me the ropes a little bit. And that's only because I was playing with them overseas and they, we was in close proximity to each other. And I maybe one guy Terrell Taylor. One guy who just decided to show me the ropes. Who decided to say, you know what? Don't do this. This is something I did. Don't take this personal. Follow, like, don't do, like, just showed me something. He just told me a few things. And it's not even like we sat down every single day. It's just I kept running into him here and there, here and there. We probably sat down 2-3 times. But just his information that he gave me in those 2-3 times helped me so much in my career. I didn't have no information where I could just pop on the podcast and go tune into ATP Network and listen to the Arnold Thoughts podcast, and he's telling me everything about the game that I should know, about my finances, about having a plan, about what to do about agents, about social media, about managing money, all these things that can really help you have a really great career. Having a mentor is the hack to life in anything that you're doing. That's in business. This is a business. That's in, even in the corporate setting, they have people above you to tell you what you do so you can avoid pitfalls, so you can best serve the company, you need to best serve your company, your career. How do you do that? You need someone who can give you inside advice. That's having a mentor. Seek out mentors. I believe that's part of my book. Y'all can pick up my book. It's in the bio. Mentors, the sixth thing of the 6 top things that I believe that you should have to know about before starting playing basketball. A mentor is one of those things. It's so crucial to have someone giving you the game along the way, so you don't make the same mistakes that everybody. Too many people nobody's giving the game. I'm not gatekeeping. I'm trying to. If you got any question, write me. I've talked to people inside my YouTube comments. I talked to people in the IG comments. I made a video specifically because someone asked me certain questions about wild ball. It was my previous video before this. They asked me about wild ball, and I said, you know what? I'm going to make a whole video because I'm out here playing in China, and I'm going to just give you everything, the information. Give me all your questions that you want to know, and I will write it down, and I'm going to give you all the information that I know, because I'm not gatekeeping. And people need to know, people need to understand, so they don't have to go through the same thing. You don't want to, there's not one person I could think of before I came out here to China that I can call and ask, that they can give me a full hour breakdown of all the things that you should know, at least to get you through the door. There was not one person. There is not one network. There's not one book. There's not one person that I was able to find and read. It didn't exist. No one's there talking about it. No one's there breaking it down. Mentors can help you create that plan. They're going to help you strategically work out the kinks that you need to know. Like, nah, young fella, don't do that. I don't think so. I'm thinking about going. I wouldn't do that. This is a better way to do this. If you want to go here, what do you want? They're going to ask you the right questions to the type of career that you want. Everybody thinks it's the same career. Everybody thinks that I'm just getting my career and I'm just gonna go up, and everything's gonna just work out perfectly and everything's gonna work. It's not like that. I got a guy right now that I've been playing with. He's a part of the company that I'm working with, and he's like, everybody thinks that your career is just gonna continuously just go up steadily. I took 1 year here, and then I took another a cut here. I had money here, and it's like, it's just information that people just don't know unless you hear it from them directly. But how do you hear it from them? No one's telling you, hey, before you start this game, you need to find somebody that you can talk to and reach out to every day that's going to help you out. That's going to help you get farther in this game. Getting a mentor. And the last thing I'll touch on, I believe, and remember, none of these are in particular order. These are just the most off the top thing that off my head that I can just say that has helped me in these 11 years that I could think of, that are just some of the most important. But relationships, man, nobody gave me the scoop on relationships. There is something about going to another country and getting the love from the locals in whatever that country. The way that they look at you, the way that they treat you, is not being talked about enough. And sometimes guys you don't understand going to another country and then getting a person pregnant, having a kid, and having to deal with that going from one country to the other. Dealing with different legal issues when it comes to your child. Getting your child into your country. Dealing with other cultural traditions and how they deal with parenthood. How you might fall in love overseas and they can't handle being, it's so many different aspects when it comes to relationships that you should know before you just dive deep into playing this game. Because you're gonna get, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna get so much love. They're gonna treat you different. They're gonna treat you like a king. They're gonna treat you like, especially now in the dating world, in the Western world, in America, the dating world, it's just so much different. I always say every time I go back to America, I get treated like a drop in the bucket. Drop of water in the bucket. Nobody cares. When I go overseas, they treat you with love. I gotta be real. They gonna treat you with love. They gonna treat you like a king. They are gonna get a lot of love. But how do you handle that? You don't want to get caught up in these type of relationships where something might happen. Everybody just, oh man, you over there, so it's up. It's this, that, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna get. The number 2 addiction in the world is sex. What do you do when it's getting thrown at you at all angles and you're trying to be focused? What do you do when you fall in love with someone overseas and you're halfway across the world and it starts to affect your play? These are just some things that people just don't tell you about. They act like it's not a real thing, but these are real things that you really have to pay attention to. Handling how to deal with relationships, obviously, handling how to deal with men for female hoopers, handling how to deal with women for the male hoopers, because you can't take it lightly. Some of these guys come over here and you might not have got a lot of play in America or in your country. You go to one of these Asian countries, Spanish countries, Arabic countries, and you're the prize. You know, you watch all these podcasts and the women, oh, I'm the prize. What happens when you actually get treated like the prize? What happens when they actually treat you like the king and queen that you are? How do you handle that? What happens if you get in a relationship? What happens if you get married overseas? Happened to me. How do you manage that? These are some things that somebody never told me about. So these are just some of the things that I wish I would have known before making it this far. These are 11 things that I wish I would have known before playing overseas basketball. The 11 things I wish I would have known. You know, they're not in any particular order, and I'll guarantee you there's a lot more, but these are just some of the main things that was just off the top of my head that I wanted to bring in this episode. You know, if you got any questions, anything you want to know that I can go even in more in depth, you know, I'm just trying to give as much context and information that I can for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy this episode. I hope you share it with someone. I hope you know, it helps you, and I hope you can learn from my mistakes and don't follow in the same traps that I did. You know, use it to navigate and start applying it to your career. So you can have a 11-year career, 12-year, 15, 20-year career if you choose so. Having a plan, having a mentor, dealing with relations, all these things, you know. But that's all I got for this episode, man. I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you. Subscribe, follow, share, do all those good things. That's all I got. Till next time. Hey guys, thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe on our YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and wherever you listen to your podcast. I greatly appreciate it.